Hey, welcome back, Wanderer. How was your trip from Tutorial Island? I know you got here in about a second, but I like to ask anyway. You ready to move on to Lumbridge? Before we start, if you wouldn't mind maybe, just maybe, giving me a like and subscribe. That way other wanderers can find their way to our tours too. I always enjoy taking new faces through worlds they've never explored or just worlds they'd like to be more familiar with. Maybe you've been in Gielinor before and you actually don't know anything about Lumbridge. Well, tonight you're going to find out some stuff. And if you hear this sound, that means the part of the tour we're coming up on was submitted by another wanderer just like you, one of my Ember Souls. If you'd like to learn more about it, you can check out my Patreon, but we won't get too hung up on that. If you hear the sound, then you'll know. All right. Let's get started. Don't say anything yet, just breathe it in. The courtyard is quiet at this hour, isn't it? The folk who wander these paths during the day have long since gone home to their hearths. But the castle never really sleeps. These bushes lining the path, perfectly round, not a single stray branch out of place. They look soft against the stone, like little green clouds set right into the earth. And do you hear that? There are two fountains here, one to the north and one to the south. Both of them just endlessly going, never stopping and never hurrying. The water catches what little moonlight there is and scatters it across the courtyard in small silver ripples. That sound alone is worth the walk here. Look, along the northern and southern walls, those flowers, red and blue, planted in neat rows against the stone. They're resting now in the dark, but you can still make out the color of them. Quiet little things, keeping their post through the night just like everything else here. And over on the southern end, near the wall, that oak, just the one, standing on its own, patient as anything. I imagine it's been there longer than most of us can account for. It keeps good company with the rats, at least. Look, down near the base of the southern wall, little dark shapes scurrying about. They've likely found a loose stone somewhere and made themselves quite at home. Smart creatures, rats. Lumbridge has warm kitchens. You can't blame them, really. Now we could continue, but before we go any further, I want to point someone out to you. Here, keep your voice down. You see that figure just there, making his way around the outer wall? That's Hans. He's the personal servant of Duke Horatio himself. And he's been walking this courtyard, clockwise, always clockwise, for longer than I can properly remember. They say he notices every face that passes through here, every single one. If you were to stop him, he could tell you to the very day, the very hour, how long you've been walking the roads of Gielinor since you first arrived. He's like the hands of a clock, steady, faithful, always turning. And the courtyard is his to keep watch over, night or day. We won't bother him. He takes his rounds seriously, and honestly, I think there's something lovely about letting him have his peace. Before we head inside, there's a figure standing quietly by the southeastern gate tower. That's the League's tutor. They're there for adventurers who've heard the call of something greater, those who seek to prove themselves under special conditions, in a world pushed to its limits. We'll leave them to it, not our path tonight. Tonight, we're going to go through those doors. Look at them, large, dark. The grain of the wood is deep and rich. Heavy timber, iron-bound, built to last centuries. And on the walls flanking the staircase, those shields. Blue with a silver sword, the heraldry of Lumbridge. It means you're safe here, wanderer. You always have been. Take my hand. The steps are cold stone, worn smooth by countless boots over countless years. Think of how many came before us, nervous and new, climbing these very stairs for the first time. Let me push these doors open for us. We'll step inside where it's warm. Ah, listen to that. That low, heavy creak as the door swings open. Wood this old and this dense, it doesn't move quietly, and honestly, I think it suits the place. Look at the floor. It's tiled in black and white marble, set in a pattern that runs the length of the entire room. It's cool and smooth against my feet, and at this hour with the torchlight low, it almost seems to shift if you stare at it long enough. Don't stare too long. Running along the floor ahead of us, a long rug, deep blue with gold trim along its edges, and 4 white stars spaced evenly down its length. It draws the eye straight forward, like a path laid out just for us, which brings our gaze to the banner on the wall ahead. Lumbridge's colors, a reminder of where we are and that we are welcome here. The torches are burning softly tonight, their warm amber glow making the stone walls look as if they're made of gold. The castle is quiet up here, but if you listen, just faintly drifting up from somewhere to the south, the soft sounds of the kitchen still at work. A distant clatter, a murmur of movement. Even at this hour, someone's keeping the fires going down the hall. We'll make our way there in a little bit. But first, the northern doorway. 2 suits of armor, one on each side, standing at perfect attention with their shields raised and visors down. I don't think anyone remembers when they were first placed here. And to our left, the northwestern wall. Those large double doors lead to the dining hall. I imagine the long table inside is empty now. Chairs tucked in, candles snuffed, everything waiting for morning. But just maybe when we get there, there'll be some warm, cozy lighting waiting just for us. Here, take a look at these paintings on the wall. Somebody obviously hung these with care. Not crooked at all. A mountain scene, vast and gray and distant, and a portrait of the king, regal and composed, watching the room the way portraits always seem to. You see the door on the southern end, the smaller one, plainly made, a bit rough around the edges compared to everything else in here, lesser wood and simpler hinges. It almost looks like it wandered in from a different building entirely. And that's where we're headed. The warmth is coming from that direction, love, and something smells wonderful. Stay close. The floor changes under our feet again as we move south. No more marble, just gray ceramic, cold and a little gritty. The kind of floor that's seen a lot of traffic and isn't trying to hide it. Oh, there's a rat. Oh, and there's another. They skitter along the base of the wall without a care in the world, same as the ones in the courtyard. Watch your step. Small bits of debris litter the floor. Dust and crumbs, the odd forgotten thing. The hall between here and the kitchen doesn't get the same attention as the rooms up front. It's a working part of the castle, and you can tell. Along the western wall, just past the kitchen door, a row of barrels, sturdy and well used. Some will be flour, some water, some perhaps a salted something or other set aside for a long journey. The kind of stores a castle keeps without fuss, so the kitchens are never caught empty. This door here, run your hand along the edge. Feel how the wood is worn soft and dark where 1,000 hands have pushed it open. It doesn't latch the same as the others. Let's slip inside. Oh, there it is. The warmth hits you, and in the smell. Something savory, deep and slow cooked. A little bread underneath it, and something sweet just at the edges. This range has been burning for hours. Let's take a slow breath in. The floor in here is the same black and white tile, but warmer to look at somehow. Lit orange from the fire of the range in the northern corner. That range, that's no ordinary hearth. That's the Cook-O-Matic. I love that name. A gift to a loyal servant. It's earned its place here. Sacks of flour propped along the walls, round and fat. Clay pots and jugs clustered near the shelves, some full, some waiting to be. A big wooden table runs through the center of the room, and on it more pots. A bucket tipped on its side, the remains of someone's earlier work. By the far shelves on the eastern wall, more jugs and more jars. The kitchen is never quite finished being stocked. In the middle of all this, that man, flour dusted and a little frantic looking, but holding it together, all things considered. That's the cook, Duke Horatio's personal chef and the descendant of Franizard van Lumcook himself. The legendary cook who a century ago defeated the Culinary-mancer and had a permanent position granted to his bloodline as reward. This kitchen, in a way, is his birthright. You'd think that heritage might make him a little more composed, and yet... Oh, there goes another adventurer, crossing straight to him with something to say. There's always one. He has a way of drawing people in, always just on the edge of needing something, and always grateful when someone steps up to help. I think it's a gift, honestly. Or maybe it's just his nature. Either way, we won't interrupt him. He's in the middle of something, and we're just passing through. See that on the floor? The trap door. Someone just slipped through it, pulled it open, climbed down, and let it fall shut behind them with a quiet thud. That leads down to the cellar, as if you didn't know that already. Cool, dark, and tucked beneath all of this warmth. That's where we're going next. Here, I'll lift it open. Let's watch our heads going down. The air changes the moment we're through the trap door. It's cooler, more still. The warmth of the kitchen stays up there, and down here it's all stone and shadow. Well, maybe not all. Stay on the bottom step a moment. It's dim, but our eyes will adjust. 2 long tables run through the center of the room, a handful of wooden chairs pulled up around them at odd angles, like someone caught up mid-meal and never quite pushed theirs back in. The kind of casual disorder that only happens in a space people actually use. Along the walls, barrels again, more clay pots, some stacked, some sitting alone. A jug here, a sack there. The overflow of a kitchen that's always just slightly more stocked than the floor above can hold. And over in the corner, cabbages, growing right here in the cellar in the dark and cool. Modest little things, leaves folded in tight. Lumbridge feeds itself wherever it can find the space. The trapdoor above us opens again, and someone drops down with the easy confidence of a person who's made this trip probably 100 times. They don't even look our way, just move through the room like they own it, heading straight for whatever they came for. We're invisible to them, just 2 more shadows in a shadowy room. Now, love, look toward the far end of the cellar, past the tables, past the stacked pots and the cabbages and the cobwebs. There, where the torchlight barely reaches. Do you see her? She's very still, pale, dark-haired, watching the room from somewhere just at the edge of the light, like she calculated exactly how far the shadows would stretch before she chose her spot. That is Kiz, or at least that's what they call her. Those who walk these roads closely know her name, and they know better than to let their guard down around her. She moves through Gielinor like rumor does, quietly and then all at once. They say no one quite knows where she came from, only that her green eyes have a way of making you feel like you've already lost something before she's even spoken a word. Charming, certainly. Dangerous, without question. The kind of adventurer who could pick you clean of every coin in your purse and leave you smiling about it on the way home. She's not here by accident. She never is. What she's after in this particular cellar on this particular night, now I couldn't tell you. But I wouldn't leave anything valuable unattended, just in case. Let's not linger too long in her corner of the dark. We've still got a castle to explore. Come on, back up the ladder with us. All right, back through the kitchen and through the door on the northwestern side. And there we go. Seems I was right. This room is well lit, like it was prepared just for us. The tile is clean and smooth, almost reflective in the firelight. No debris, no wandering rats. The rug under the table is gorgeous. Black and red with gold trim along the full border. And the candelabras down the center of the table, 3 of them, burning low and steady. 2 ornate chairs at either end, 8 red ones along each side, all tucked in neatly. I always find an empty dining table like this oddly peaceful. Everything set, Everything ready, just resting between one meal and the next. It's cute. And feel that hearth burning, steady and well tended. Between that, the torches and the candelabras, there's not a dark corner in this room. And there's more suits of armor around the room, polished enough to catch the firelight in small bright points. This is the kind of room that makes you want to sit down, pour something warm, and not be in any hurry at all. All right, now we're going to go through these double doors back into the entryway. Now, follow me into the northern hall. This one feels more composed than the passage by the kitchen, doesn't it? The rug is black and red with gold trim, like we've seen before. The blue shields along the walls are polished and catching the torchlight. I know what you're probably thinking, and yes, we are taking the stairs. These stairs specifically. I'll be honest, I don't think anyone else in all of Gielinor uses this particular staircase. I've never once passed another soul on these steps, but I've always liked them. There's something about a quiet, winding stair that makes me feel like the castle is sharing a secret with me. So, up we go, just us as usual. Watch our footing on the turns. We'll exit the first door we come to. Just here. You've probably noticed immediately that the air is different here. Cool and open and alive in a way the castle interior simply isn't. It moves against our faces just slightly. We're on the rampart. Walk with me to the front, and let's have a seat. Two cannons sit here, one to each side, dark iron and heavy, angled out over the walls. 9 cannons guard this castle in total, these 2 among them. Whether they're loaded or not, I've never thought to ask. I've always preferred to assume they're simply ready, just in case. The banner posts stand nearby, 2 smaller and 2 tall, and the flags drift in that easy, unhurried way fabric moves when the wind is gentle. Blue and white, the colors of Lumbridge, up here in the open dark. Come in close to the edge with me. The night has a little bite up here. Stay near me and I'll keep you warm. Just look. The courtyard below us, the fountains catching the moonlight and scattering it, 2 soft silver points in the dark. The oak tree at the southern wall with its canopy barely moving. And beyond the walls, Lumbridge. The rooftops, the river, the roads threading out into the dark, warm amber light spilling out from windows here and there, the last fire still burning in the homes of people who aren't quite ready for sleep. The mill on the hill to the north, and the river Lum below, silver and constant. The moon's out tonight, full or near enough to it, hanging above the eastern hills like it was placed there on purpose. It turns everything below us into something soft and still. I come up here sometimes just for this, just to remember that the world is bigger than whatever I'm currently worrying about, and quieter than it has any right to be, and honestly, beautiful. All right, love, on our feet. Any longer up here and I'll fall asleep, and I'd hate for our tour to end with both of us snoring on a battlement. We've still got somewhere to be. We're gonna pay a visit to the Duke's chambers. Now, before you say a word, I know it's late and he'll be asleep. But don't worry, I have a small enchantment, something quiet. It'll keep our footsteps soft as a cat's, and our voices carry no further than we need them to. The Duke won't hear a thing. Back inside, quietly now. There, feel that? Kinda settles around this like a second skin. Light as silk and quiet as shadow. Our footsteps won't carry past where we want them to. I told you not to worry. 2 rooms up here, side by side. Let's take the first one gently. Step inside. This is the advisor's chamber, modest by the castle standards, but comfortable. A proper bed, red dressed and gold framed. A small rug laid out beneath it, red with black stars at the corners. A candelabra on the nightstand, burned low. Someone lived in this room. Someone who sat across from the Duke at that long dining table downstairs, who walked these same halls, who was trusted completely. His name was Sigmund, the Duke's advisor, close enough to whisper in the most powerful ear in Lumbridge, and he used that closeness to try and start a war. He was a member of the Humans Against Monsters, a group that despised the idea of peace between the people of the surface and the Dorgashum goblins living in the caves far below our feet. He stole the Duke's own silverware and planted it in their tunnels, trying to make it look like theft. When it came to light, and it did come to light, the Duke dismissed him without hesitation and went on to sign a peace treaty with the Dorgashun himself. That's why you see so many goblins around here. The room has been quiet since. I don't know who tends it now or whether anyone does. But I always feel it when I stand in here, the weight of a trust that was broken in a place that was built on exactly that. Let's not linger. Come, through here, back into the hall. The Duke's chamber is larger, and you can tell immediately, not just in the space, but in the intention of the room. The bed itself is grand, dark gold frame, deep red linens, made up with a kind of care that speaks to a household staff who take their work very seriously. Candelabras on either side, and there in the bed, Duke Horatio, the ruler of Lumbridge and all the surrounding lands, vassal to King Rold of Misthalin. He has governed this duchy his entire life, the same way his father did and his father's father, all the way back to Polonius himself, the first Duke, the man who built this very castle. I would say he's in his early 40s. He's seen dragon threats, betrayal from inside his own walls. He rode to the Second Battle of the Salve. He signed the peace treaty that changed the course of 2 civilizations. And right now he is completely, deeply asleep. Honestly, I love that. A man who carries all of that and still manages to sleep soundly. Maybe that's what it means to rule well. You do the work, you make the hard call, and then you rest. We'll let him keep it. Not a sound, back the way we came. Back into the hall with us. Okay, we don't have to be so quiet out here. There's one more staircase to climb, and I promise this one is worth it. Up we go. The bank of Lumbridge Castle. It sits at the very top of this tower, and there's something almost funny about that when you think about it. For the longest time, there was no bank here at all. The nearest one was all the way in Gielinor, and the road there was far less forgiving than it looked. New adventurers kept not making it, so eventually someone put a bank here, right at the top of the castle. Practical, if not particularly glamorous. The banker tutor Barb is stationed here too, ready to walk anyone through the basics. How to store things, how to keep them safe, how to set a pin so no one else gets in. Patient work for a patient soul. The blue rug anchors the center of the room with a white compass star spread across it, right against the stone floor. A few logs are stacked nearby, left there for wanderers who need them, no questions asked. Ooh, it's busy in here, even now. Adventurers moving in and out with that particular focused energy of people who know exactly what they came for and have somewhere else to be immediately after. I find it to be the opposite. I never know what I come in here for. And yet, one of them isn't moving. Still as carved stone, with something glowing faintly between their hands. Watch. There it is, a slow, deliberate gesture, arms drawing outward, coaxing what looks like a small sphere of light into existence between their palms before it quickly dissolves and they begin again. Practicing, always practicing. That is Irontooth, captain of the cheeky lion and the fabulous siren, and one of the most quietly determined souls we will ever have the strange fortune of encountering. They are what some might call a jack of all trades, or what they would simply call unfinished. Iron has made themselves a promise. No trades with other adventurers, no borrowed knowledge, no shared resources. Every skill, every craft, every scrap of understanding, earned with their own 2 hands or not at all. They've chopped the wood, they've hauled the ore, they've picked the pockets of people who, in their estimation, weren't managing their coins particularly well anyway. And yes, they have carried milk and eggs and flour down to a sweaty cook in a hot kitchen, and walked away knowing something about baking they didn't know before. Mock that if you like. They won't hear you. Or rather, they will and they simply won't care. Right now they're working on folding space-time, or something close to it. The mages at the Wizard's Tower have been less than forthcoming, and Iron has decided that what they won't share, they'll simply figure out themselves. The light blooms between their hands again, dissolves and blooms again. They'll be here for a while, so we'll leave them to it. This way and back down we go. The southern staircase this time, winding us back down through the stone the same quiet way we came up. One floor, then another, the warmth of the upper rooms fading behind us with each step. We're at the back of the castle now, and the world out here feels very wide after all those stone corridors. We'll follow the wall around, southward along the castle's eastern fence. You'll remember our friends from earlier. The rats are very much still about, scurrying along the base of the wall in that unbothered way of theirs, doing whatever it is they do at this hour. We won't bother them. They certainly won't bother us. Ooh, the castle looms quietly beside us as we walk. All that stone, all those rooms. The Duke sleeping soundly somewhere above. Iron Tooth still coaxing light between their palms up in the tower. Kiz doing whatever Kiz does in whatever shadow suits her tonight. All of it tucked away behind these walls. And ahead of us, the courtyard opens back up. It feels different coming back through here, doesn't it? One last look at it. Because when we step through the gate, the streets of Lumbridge are waiting for us. Now, as we pass through the gate, I'd like you to look to your right and see what's waiting for us. The Church of Holy Saradomin. Just stand here on the path and look at it for a moment. Even at this hour, even with the moon as our only ceiling out here, there's something about this building that makes you want to slow down. This church has stood here for over 230 years. Long before most of what we've seen tonight was built, long before the Duke's family took the castle, long before the fountains went in, and long before the first stone of the ramparts was laid. This church was here first. The door is open. It always is. For the traveler arriving at dawn with nowhere to go, for the adventurer who needs a moment of stillness between one hard road and the next. Come, step inside with me, softly. There are people here even at this hour. A figure kneeling near the front with their head bowed, another seated in a pew. We won't disturb them. We'll move gently and keep our voices low. The wooden pews run in 2 rows down the length of the nave. Warm gold in the torchlight and cushioned in red. Down the center, a rug, deep red with black stars, running all the way from the entrance up to the altar. The altar itself is draped in white, 2 candles burning on either side. And behind it, the organ, pipes rising tall against the far wall. It's silent tonight. You can almost feel the memory of music in the room. The stained glass windows rise along the walls, great golden shapes, Saradomin stars that during the day would cast the whole room in light. Tonight, just the faintest color at the edges where the moonlight finds them. And there, just to the right of the altar, Father Eric. He's been the keeper of this church his entire life. I've heard that back in his training days, he and a dear friend of his, a Father Ernie who now lives as a hermit out in the swamps, got into no small amount of mischief together. Bell ropes, mostly. I'll leave it at that. But all of that was a long time ago. Tonight, he's at the altar, quiet and steady. Over near the entrance, the prayer tutor keeps their post as well. There for any wanderer who needs guidance on the discipline of prayer and what it means to ask for strength and learn to receive it. There's something about a room like this late at night, the candles low, the organ silent, the people who are here choosing to be here. No one comes to a church at this hour by accident. Let the quiet settle over us for just a moment. All right, love, gently back the way we came. There's still more of Lumbridge waiting for us outside. 2 buildings sit side by side here, close enough that you'd almost think they were planned together. I don't think they were. First, this one on the right, Bob's brilliant axes. Bob was the very first face many people ever saw in these lands. the first citizen to ever stand on a corner in Gielinor. And here he still is, same shop, same stock. Axes and pickaxes line the shelves, nothing fancy, nothing that'll make a seasoned adventurer stop in their tracks, but exactly what you need when you're just starting out and the road ahead is longer than your inventory. He does other work too, quieter work. Borrows equipment, badly worn from dungeons most of us would rather not revisit. He takes it in, turns it over in his hands, and gets it back as good as it was. He learned that in the Varick Museum, of all places. His father sent him there hoping he'd take to academia. Instead, he took to repair work and never quite left it behind. And next door we have Corderos, the cooking tutor. His name means lamb in the old tongue, which I've always thought was either very fitting or a very gentle joke at his expense. His kitchen is warm and well used, the range going the same as the one up in the castle, pots and ingredients laid out for anyone who wants to learn. He'll walk you through it all, the basics first, then more as you're ready for it. It's a good complement to what Bob offers, really. One gives you the tools to go out into the world, and the other gives you the reason to come back. All right, come on. We've got 2 more stops before we rest. All right, through this gate behind the church. This is where the graveyard opens up around us. No torches here, just moonlight on gray stone and the soft sound of the grass shifting when the breeze moves through. It's not an unsettling place, I find. People think it should be, but there's something very still and honest about a graveyard at night. Everything here has already been through the hardest part. Headstones rise in scattered rows along the path, worn smooth at the edges, some older than others. And over in the northeastern corner, a yew tree, the only one in this part of Lumbridge, old and broad against the sky, its branches spreading wide and low. The mausoleum to the left, stone walls and a heavy door. Inside rests a coffin, and inside that coffin, something that hasn't quite accepted its circumstances yet. The restless ghost. It's a long story, and we won't open that door tonight. Let sleeping things lie, as they say. And here, we're gonna pass right by this entrance. Keep walking and don't slow down, and please don't make eye contact. That's Death's door. Harold Death Esquire, to give him his full title, guardian of Gothics, collector of souls, and the single most difficult individual to have a straightforward conversation with in all of Gielinor. He and I have a history. Nothing dramatic. It's just that every time we speak, somehow I end up owing him something. And the terms are never what I'd call reasonable. So we'll admire from the door from here and move smartly along. Over there, the figure in the cape, that's Count Check. He left his vampire ways behind him long ago, or so he'll tell you. And now he stands in this graveyard every single night, making sure the adventurers of Gielinor have strong passwords and 2-step verification on their recovery email. You ever wondered what those terms mean? I don't even know if I fully understand it, but he seems to. 1 unique password, 2-step verification, free authenticator. He says free, not 3. It's free to set up, you see. He is very committed to this bit. I find them oddly comforting, if I'm honest. A graveyard with its own account security advisor, only in Lumbridge. And over there, Nigel near the stones. He doesn't say much. He's just there. Before we head back through the gate, stay with me by the far wall for a moment. Look. Do you see her? Near the southern edge of the yard, settled in like she belongs, which, to be fair, she does. That's Miranda. Some call her a priestess. Others aren't entirely sure what she is, only that she has a way of being exactly where she needs to be and never quite where you expect her. Dark hair, pale as the stone around her, still in that particular way of someone who is choosing to be still rather than someone who doesn't know any better. She keeps a small camp here, nothing grand, a fire, a few things, enough to make the space hers. She has a gift, a sort of quiet clarity that people find themselves drawn to when they've been carrying something too long. A word from Miranda has a way of landing exactly right, even when you weren't sure what you needed to hear. She travels sometimes. You might find her in Varick or Falador, in the quieter corners of the cities where people go when they need someone to talk to and don't want to admit it. tonight she's here, in the graveyard under the yew tree and the moon, looking for all the world like she wandered in from somewhere older and stranger and decided this would do just fine. We won't disturb her. Now, through the back gate, the swamp is waiting for us. Hold on just a moment. I was originally going to take us straight to the river from here. That was the plan. But something just caught my eye through the back gate and just a small detour. Trust me. Ooh, the air's heavier out here. Smells like earth and standing water and something green and ancient that doesn't even have a cleaner name than just swamp. The ground is soft under our feet. Patches of pale stone break through the dark grass here and there, and the trees, what's left of them, stand bare and crooked against the sky with their branches reaching in directions that don't quite make sense. Those teal flowers between the stones, they're the brightest thing out here, almost luminous in the dark. There's a small shed further in. Don't get near it. Don't even look at it for too long. What that shed connects to is a conversation for another night entirely, and we are not dressed for Zenaris. The ruins of the water altar sit at the center of all this. Stone circles, low and worn, the entrance to something much older than anything we've walked through tonight. The mages who first studied these ruins called them mysterious and then rather unhelpfully left it at that. There's magic here. The air is just slightly heavier than it should be. Oh, and kneeling right at the edge of those ruins, brown robes, a magic cape, dark blue gloves and boots, one hand pressed flat against the stone and the other holding something that hums. That's Henos. He appeared in Lumbridge a few weeks ago, sent by Duke Horatio himself. Something to do with an air talisman the Duke received and questions about its properties that the Duke didn't have the expertise to answer himself. Henos did. Or rather, Henos is determined to. He's been out here every day since, kneeling in the mud, filling journals, measuring the stones, mapping things that don't appear on any map we've ever seen. The talisman in his hand hums quietly, drawn toward the altar the way a compass needle finds north. He doesn't look up as we pass, not because he hasn't noticed us. He has. He notices everything. It's just that whatever he's recording right now is more interesting to him than we are. I don't take it personally, and you shouldn't either. Whatever he's looking for out here in the mist and the stone, he hasn't found it yet. But I wouldn't bet against him. Let's leave him to his work. We've kept the river waiting long enough. Walk with me down towards the water. It's just a little further, don't worry. I know you're sleepy. Here we are. Come on, sit with me. Right here on the bank, where the grass runs soft down to the edge and the ground levels out just enough to be comfortable. And here it is, the River Lum, the second longest river in all of Gielinor, running all the way down from the deep wilderness, born up there in the cold and the dark, running underground for much of its life before it finally surfaces and makes its way through here, right past us. It doesn't hurry, it never does this far south, just moving, steady and silver at the edges where the moonlight catches it. A duck drifts past without any particular urgency. I appreciate that about ducks. Across the water, that stretch of pale, white earth on the far bank. That's the edge of the Caridian Desert, vast and almost luminous in the dark, the sand holding the moonlight differently than anything else out here. By day it would be blinding, tonight it just glows softly. There's a whole other world just over this river. Al-Kharid, the toll gate, the desert roads beyond. But that's a different tour for a different night. Tonight, we stay here. The stars are out properly now. No cloud cover, no castle walls to frame them, just the full sky going all the way back. The town of Lumbridge was settled here in the 4th Age by nomads who found this river and decided to stay. They built a bridge and named the place after it. Simple as that. And from that bridge, a castle, a church, a graveyard, a market, a swamp full of mysteries. A cook who inherited his kitchen, a duke who earns his sleep, a scholar kneeling in the mud taking notes on something no one else thought to measure. All of it started because someone sat where we're sitting now and decided this river was worth building a life beside. I think they were right. You've walked a long way tonight, Wanderer, farther than you might think. So if you want to close your eyes for a while, go ahead. The river's not going anywhere, the stars aren't either, and neither am I. I'll be right here watching the water, watching the far bank, keeping an eye on things the way I always do. Rest now. Part 2 is waiting for us whenever you're ready, but that can wait until morning. And Wanderer, one last thing before you drift off. If you enjoyed walking these paths with me tonight, let other wanderers know so they can find their way here too. And if you want to become one of my Ember Souls, spreading warmth across Gielinor and beyond, my Patreon is where you'll find that. Your very own soul will be placed in our next tour. Thank you for the company tonight, and thank you for the support. Sweet dreams, Wanderer. Good night.